LFC Daytrippers, brought to you by bookmakers.com.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Fatback 4 from the LFC Daytrippers. The international break, it's nearly over. It's nearly over. Liverpool haven't played a game in about 12 days, I think, at this stage, or maybe 11. And we have taken a bit of a break on that time. We've thrown in a couple of shows, but we're back now from tonight all the way to the end of the season, once there's no more international breaks, which I don't think there is. Tonight, I'm joined by Emmet, I'm joined by Keith, and I'm joined by Seany. And we're going to have a little look at Liverpool in the summer of 2023. Now, before we go on, I've told these lads that they can shape this squad wherever way they want. It's their opinion. Don't take it too seriously, because people will absolutely have a meltdown on certain things people might say. It's us having a chat on a Sunday night about what we think might happen with Liverpool. Show is brought to you by bookmakers.com. Check them out at bookmakers.com for all the best odds from all the bookmakers on all the sports. If you like to gamble, if you do so responsibly. If you don't, you know yourself, the website's good for all different bits, so it's worth checking out if you don't gamble anyway. And right from the outset, I'm going to talk about our charity campaign, which is for breast cancer research. 12 women running the Dublin Marathon in aid of this fantastic service and charity. And link is in the description if you want to donate. All our super chats on YouTube between now and October will go to breast cancer research. So if you want to throw it in that way, absolutely do so. Copy the link, share it amongst your friends, family, whoever. And if you want to donate, of course, go through that link as well. So, lads, how are we? Keith, how are you?
I'm grand, yeah. Good.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's it. I trimmed my beard, Gav. Beard.
I noticed that.
I thought I was doing well with it, but no, it wasn't. It was looking bleeding desperate. I was like when Ian Beale grew a beard and became a homeless fella. It was just all wayward and all that. Yeah. It wasn't doing it for me. Tried to put a bit of the old thickening stuff into it and all that, but I was cheating myself. It was like when I had hair. Cheated with it for about 10 years. I was like a bleeding young Donald Trump. Wasn't working out for me with that. It's happening with me bleeding chin now as well. So it's just bad times all around with the old follicles. But yeah, it is what it is. We move.
Okay, good stuff. A bit deep that. Seany, how are you?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about my possible follicle challenge future, but I could probably do a trim on the beard myself. But yeah, all good. Yeah. Sure, you talk to me every bleeding day, Gav.
I know, but I hadn't spoken to you since last night. I was just checking how you are. You know, you're going through a serious thing at the moment, which is the Mbappe SBC. I know this. It's massive work you're putting in.
It's been a slog. It's been a slog.
It is a slog. But Emmet, how are you?
I'm going to put my PayPal in the chat if anyone wants to donate, please.
If you want to donate for charity, you can, or to Seany's quest to get the 93 Mbappe card.
It's called Project Mbappe. There's probably more chance of him signing by Liverpool at the moment than we get that thing finished, to be honest.
You will get it finished. But then again, the lads did say you will get it finished and then you'll pack him about 2 days later, which will be amazing. Emmet, how are you?
Oh, good, yeah. I got absolutely pissed on today at a match. I got into my car and there's a message from Gav, you around later. I was like, yeah, I'll go on for a chat. What are we doing? Well, so you've to completely pull apart the Liverpool squad. Who are you buying? I was like, oh, fuck. So, yeah, I had to come home and open the laptop for a while. I'll say for a while. I was going to say a few hours, but I'll say a while.
Yeah, and that's not your biggest worry, because I've also asked you, will you do a quiz during the week as well?
Yeah.
So,
that's no problem at all.
Yeah, there you go. Mohammed says, Gav, you must be stoked while we were away. Your best mate landed a job in Germany. Of course, that's Thomas Tuchel. Once I don't have to look at him, I don't care. So, Liverpool squad in the summer of 2023. It's all that people want to talk about. You know, how many players we need. You know, we've seen Jude Bellingham today playing for England, standing beside Gerrard at Wembley, and everyone's like, "Oh, look on Gerrard's face! Like, this is on." And it's absolutely mad. Now, we did do a show similar to this a couple of weeks ago. Myself, Kev, and I think it was Matt. It was a bit more of a game we played where we just presumed Jude Bellingham was side for Liverpool, just to get it off and running, because we didn't want to argue the whole Jude Bellingham thing for an hour. But I'm not going to do that this time. I want you, as an individual, to tell me what you think or what you would like to see happen to Liverpool squad in the summer. So what we're going to start with is outs. Okay? There will be outs that are very obvious and not many people will argue over them. There might be some in there that people go, wow, but you'll have a chance to talk to us about it later when you're bringing someone in to maybe replace them. So I'm going to leave Keith last because Keith has form here where he's selling, like, it's like he's reading out a phone book.
I love the outs.
Yeah,
he loves
the
love the outs.
So I'll start with Seany. Seany, as the squad stands at the moment, outs that you can see this summer.
Well, there's two obvious ones, which contract. There's three actually now that I think about it. It has
4.
Bobby's gone, Kate is gone, and Ox is gone. Who's the other?
Adrian.
Yeah,
get the boat.
Adrian.
Out the fuck.
I know Milner's running into his last 6 months, but something tells me we'll get another deal, and it'll be one where I understand it. Like, it's something that I understand. It's not something that I'd be throwing me nappy out the window with the baby out the bathwater just because Milner signed a new deal. And then there's a couple of possibles. I think Matip could be moved on. I think Joe Matip might be looked at. I think if Joe Matip had been English, maybe Joe Gomez would probably be the one to go. But considering the kind of situation that we're in at the moment in terms of homegrown, which needs to be taken into consideration. I know it's boring. It's a load of shite, but they are the rules. And Liverpool are one of the clubs that abides by the rules and continues to do so. And I don't think there's actually any way around it in terms of homegrown. So I could see Matip going with a year left on his deal. His form kind of dropping off. It's probably the apt time to sell him. I think any money we make on Matip is 100% profit as well, considering how much we brought him in for, which was free. And then there's a couple who are question marks over. There's the likes of Curtis Jones, who might be surplus, maybe a loan. Fabio Carvalho, possibly a loan. I think Simicas as well might be one where the clubs will probably be willing to listen to offers and see what they can do. Queevy and Kelleher, I definitely expect to move on. There's loads of interest in him, and I think it's just better for his career. And then there's two where I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be at the same time if we were to move on. If Diogo Jota and Fabinho were moved on, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I've seen flashes in the last couple of weeks from Fabinho that he's not a complete busted flush, and that a rest and a recharge might do him good. But I just think we're already windows behind in what we need to do here, and we can't afford to be letting too many go. So I don't want to be playing silly beggars saying that we're going to sell 6 or 7. I'd say we might sell 3 or 4 of that group, because you need to look. Ox is gone. The way I see it is, Ox is gone and Keita is gone. They're both gone. And people won't like this, what I'm about to say, but Stefan Bajcetic has saved us money, because just I'll put it in, I'll be hypothetical here. Imagine Bajcetic was playing for, say, Brighton, all right? Yeah. And he was performing the way he is as an 18-year-old this season, and we signed him for 40 million in the summer. Everybody would be bleeding,
buzzing, yeah.
Up. They'd be buzzing. He saves us. I think Bajcetic just showed that he's going to be a first team fixture next year, like kind of fast tracked into the first team. And I've absolutely no problem with that. I think he's been brilliant since he came in. It's unfortunately he's been injured, So that kind of helps us a little bit in terms of what we can do. But we needed a midfielder in before this season, and we're going to need at least 2 win in the summer. So that's where I'd be starting off. I think the rest of the squad, it's not necessarily supplementing. I'd argue with you that a new third or second choice centre back, for want of a better phrase, might be as important as a midfielder. So, look, a lot of work needs to be done, Gav, and I'm not exactly sure how we got the facilities to get all the work done. So I'm going to be interested to see what way the lads go about it.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to you because I'm just off the top of my head there. I think you've named about 8 players there, right? No, I'm not saying you're naming them that they're definitely going. I think you're
3
saying
of them are contract. 3 of them are definitely going.
Kate, Bobby, Oxlade-Chamberlain goes, and then you're talking around Matip and Kelleher. You know, that's 5. Then you're looking at maybe Simicast. Then you're saying maybe Fabinho. So that's about 8. But I know you're not saying sell them. You're just saying there might be movement somewhere in that. And I'll come back to you later because I'll be interested to see if you were to do something like that. Your last sentence is very interesting. Do we have the facilities to do that? You know, are we going to swap a Jota out to bring someone else in? You know, and try balance it that way. Emma,
I went with
is there a load in 8? Is there an 8 in your head, or is there kind of you have just gone down the definite kind of route?
I've gone down the route of what I think will happen, or what I would do. But I do agree with Shawnee that there are question marks maybe over a few that aren't on my list. That you wouldn't be shocked if they were to go like Jota, like Fabinho, but they're not on my list. So I've got Jones going out possibly on a loan rather than being sold. Adrian is gone, Kate is gone, Ox gone, Bobby gone, Mello obviously is fucking off back to Italy. Kelleher, I think will definitely go. I have Joe Matip going, I've got Reece Williams going, and I've got Nat Phillips going.
Okay. Now, have you built into this the fact of your homegrown and your club grown?
I have. You should see the spreadsheet I have in front of me. I wasn't joking when I said a couple of hours.
Okay, hey, just
told
the family to fuck off at about 2:00 today. I'll see you tomorrow. But you see, the big thing for me, Emma, is when I look at this squad, and when we were doing it a couple of weeks ago, we kind of went the goalkeeper stuff. Maybe something has to be done just because Kelleher maybe wants to go and play football. The centre half stuff, I can absolutely see the argument over Matip, right? With what he's left on his deal, no real talk of a new deal. They could surprise us in the next couple of months with a new deal from. But if you're going to do something at centre half, this is the time to upgrade on Matip, put pressure on Canati and Van Dijk, and if Gomez comes along again, great. If not, we might have to do similar with Gomez in a year's time and replace him. Midfield is a definite, where you have 2 definitely leaving. There's still talk over Milner. You know, there's someone in the chat. Jake says he reckons Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago, one of them could get moved on, but I'm not sure who. So you're looking at 3 midfielders, and then up front, you're probably thinking, the way I look at it, I'm kind of thinking it's okay as it is because there's other stuff to be done, and you have to factor in with how much you will spend. You know what I mean? And like you probably have a lot. You've probably more than 8 names there, then, you know.
Yeah, but there's going out. I have 10, but again, Mello is one of those and contracts. So in terms of actually players that we would sell or loan out, there's actually only 5.
Yeah.
Jones
played games for Liverpool.
Yeah, Jones, Kelleher, Matip, Williams, and Phillips. And I know we're talking about homegrown and that, but there are a group of about 5 lads that actually become homegrown.
Okay.
You've got Jake Kane become homegrown. You've got Sepp van der Berg, which I think will maybe come back to us to slot into either a Williams or a Nat Phillips spot.
Okay.
There's a lot of young fellas that actually have now kind of flipped over into homegrown.
Okay.
So I think there's room to actually free up, and I think we're going to bring in a couple of homegrown too.
And let's be honest about it. You know, you name these players likes of Nat Phillips, Reece Williams, whoever it might be. They don't play a lot of football, but they're there to make up numbers without being too disrespectful to them. That's what they're there for. You know, the sort of way. Keith, hit us.
No, exactly the same as the lads. I have 11 names down, but it's all what's being said, and they're not all gone. So, it's literally the exact same as Shawnee. So, like, I've got Keita, Chamberlain, Adrian, Bobby, all gone for the duck eggs. We get nothing in for them. That's just gone.
Now you lose a homegrown, I think, in Adrian as well by him going, don't you?
How was he? How can he be homegrown? He's Spanish.
No, I think because he's played so many years and thing.
That doesn't work, does it? I thought you have to have trained under the age. But anyway, forget about him. Gonzo, I don't care. There's no way he's surviving due to a homegrown rule. So they're gone right for 0. I agree with the lads, what both of the lads have said. I think Kelleher and Matip are the two that we sell and we get money for. I'm looking at 20 million each. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less for one. I think they're two saleable assets that we have. I would sell Joe Gomez as well, but the homegrown thing is going to keep him. I think he stays in the squad. And exactly like Shawnee said, I have down Fabinho and Jota and Tsimikas with, if an offer comes in, I'd actually move Fabinho, right? So when I have him gone, because I have a replacement coming in for him. I agree, he's looked better at the end of the season, but he's getting older as well, and I think he's put enough of the wind up me to make me think that it might be better to cash in on him. You might get money for him. I think you could get good money for him actually. If you had to sell him, I think teams in the continent would give you decent bread for him. So we have him going. I have Tsimikas going, but only if we could get in a player. And I was looking through players you could get in, and there's probably not many that you're probably hanging your hat on there, but you don't know what could happen around that. But yeah, Nat Phillips, him gone as well. I forgot about Reece Williams. He'd go as well. I'll write him on my list now. Reece Williams gone. Don't think you get much money for him. So yeah, I have Keita, Chamberlain, Adrian, Bobby, Kelleher, Matip, Fabinho, and then Tsimikas, Jota as possibilities, and I have Curtis Jones as a possibility as well. I would not loan out Curtis Jones. I think you either keep him or you sell him now. I just think, again, I know the homegrown thing does come into it, but it's the injury frustration thing with him, and it's the same with a lot of the players. Like Jota, if a good offer comes in for Jota, I'd sell him because I'm worried about his fitness. I'm worried that he's going to be one of these players. He's out all the time with niggles, and when he gets a niggle, he's out for a long time with the fucking niggle. Do you know what I mean? Like he's
but at the same time.
But if you were hanging your hat on him, you'd be worried. But look at what else we have.
Right. So Kevin Ball says, sorry, Adrian isn't homegrown, right? I thought there was something around Adrian. Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe it's just the experience thing. I don't know. But I get the Jota stuff and people nervous over Jota's injury, right? But at the same time, we're sitting here saying Matip is out of form and he's a year left and he'll go. And Joe Gomez has been horrendous form, and gets injuries more than Matip at this stage, and we're okay with him. Like, I think it's a bit rough on Jota. I think it is a bit.
The Matip thing is more down to the contract.
Yeah, but the thing for me is that, like, right, say you sign 3 midfielders, which you definitely need, and you sign a centre half, which you more or less need if you're selling Matip. That's 4, right? Can you see him doing 5 or 6 changes?
It can't. For me, it depends on what the owners are going to put up.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is what, like, not that this is a load of bollocks, because I understand why we're doing it and we're getting a gauge on it, but it's hard to kind of see where it lies now at the moment, because we don't know if there's going to be external investment.
I know, but this is where I'm asking you, what would you do?
And so it's dependent. What I do is dependent on that. And the only reason what I do is, like, in an ideal world, we'd have extra money to invest and we wouldn't have to sacrifice a Jota. But I just feel like, depending on the situation, a lot of things are going to be weighed up in terms of Jota's availability and how much someone's willing to pay for him. And can we find someone else to come in and replicate what he does for cheaper? Because I think whatever happens in the summer, no matter how much money we get, we have to go back to being fucking clever in the market. We have to. I know that, but you see, part of this is
But part of this isn't just well, if FSG does. I'm asking you the question. The reason I'm asking you this question is tonight is you tell me what you want done, and that will tell, and that tells then not only tells you what you'd like to see in the squad, but also tells you what you'd like the manager to do, what you'd like the owners to do.
Well,
forget what you think they might, or it depends.
I'm not touching Jota. If it's so completely up to me, I wouldn't move him on, because I know he's had issues with his injury. He had a bad one this year, I think it's his Achilles or his calf, and he has had injury problems. But the thing is, when Jota's fit, he's such a fucking good player to have off the bench, and he's a difference maker. And I just don't know, with today's market is fucking mad, Gav, with United paying 100 million for Anthony and whatever. I don't see, like, I don't know what sort of money you would take Newcastle, who are the rumoured ones who are rumoured to be interested in him, to pay to take him away from Liverpool. Because, like, I normally had my ear to the ground and I'd look around Europe and I'd see little players who you want to snip up that. But, like, all the ones that are being talked about are already heavily linked with clubs. Kvaratskhelia, Osimhen, they're all going to cost a lot of money. So it's going to come down to Liverpool being clever again. And again, that's going to be a decision that's made based on what FSG have given Liverpool, or whoever else is. Not that we're not going to have fucking new ownership. We know that now. But we know very little about any potential investment. We're still very much in the dark, which is normal because that's the way it works. Like, it's not supposed to play out in the public the way this shit show at United is going on at the moment. So it's going to be very much dependent on what Klopp gets. But if you're asking me what I do, I wouldn't move Jota on, because I really rate him. I think he's a brilliant player. I think he makes such a big difference to us when he's fit, and I think we'll see that now in the back end of this season.
Yeah. So
the thing I said, with Jota, so I have like 60 million plus right beside Jota. I think if they get an offer above 60 million for Jota, I'd be tempted to do it. But as part of this, I've been looking at replacements, and as Shawnee touched on there, I can't see many forwards that you're looking to bring in, and that's where the problem lies if you're going to sell Jota. So that's why he was a question mark for me, because I don't know. As you mentioned, Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen, big bucks, you know what I mean? So, and
Marcus Thuram is free.
Marcus, yeah, but isn't he's going to PSG, isn't he?
Yeah, but is he even that good?
I haven't even taken any of this into consideration. I just put down what I want.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'd like us to do. Like, because at the end of the day, the way you shape this squad and what you would spend on this squad, regardless, like, I see where you're trying to come from on the angle of, if you got 50 or 60 million for Jota, you'd sell him.
It would take much more than that.
What I'm saying is
16 million is fucking nothing nowadays. Let's be honest.
What I'm saying, sorry, Spurs just announced they've sacked Antonio Conte as well. But what I'm trying to say to you is that clever in the market is great, and there was a point made there by John saying that going back to the Mane, Salah type signings, those type of signings in 2023 cost you 50 or 60 million, and he's bang on. They do, because it's gone ridiculous. Anthony at 100 million is madness, and we've seen others. He's just probably the most high profile. But what I'm saying to you is that the way I feel you're thinking about this is, we got 50 or 60 million for Jota, because you're trying to think, get 60 million in, get someone for 30, move that 30 down onto someone else, and that's all. Don't do that. You just sit down and you say, because at the end of it, it's going to end up with Keith saying, right, Keith, well, you're telling me now that Liverpool have to spend 200 million quid this summer, right? Nah, they have to spend 200 million this summer. So that ties in then with what you want done with the squad, but what you think the owner should do as well. Do you know what I mean? We're answering all the questions at the same time. But let's go back to the goalkeepers, right?
Yeah.
Alisson's fine. Adrian, you have the argument over.
No argument over Adrian. He's gone.
Well, the thing is, right,
now that he's not homegrown anymore, definitely out the gate.
But from this show a couple of weeks ago, they were talking about is it Ziegler? Is that his name? The goalkeeper.
Ziegler.
Yeah,
he used to be at United,
Ziegler.
and he comes in as a homegrown player, believe it or not. And that's what the rumour was, is that Adrian would go and they bring this guy in. Keith Kelleher, do you think he goes because he wants to play more football?
100%. I don't think there's any way he stays at Liverpool next season. Zero chance. I think I think Klopp fucked it as well by not naming him as the FA Cup keeper. I think that might have been the last. But mate, that's just guesswork, you know what I mean? But he came out and plays Alisson and said that Alisson's his keeper, then puts Kelleher in. I think Kelleher realises that, there's not going to be game time for him at Liverpool. I think he's 24 years old, and I'd imagine he fancies his chances. There's going to be, movement. I think personally, if I was Spurs, and I know Nagelsmann's going to end up in there, so you don't know what the thinking will be around that, I'd be getting rid of Hugo Lloris. It's all tying in, isn't it? Like Nagelsmann's available and Conte gets the axe. I'd be surprised. I wouldn't say
that dressing room has swallowed better managers than him. So
no, 100. I don't think it'd be the right appointment. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're talking about. I've seen it as just a side thing on that. I've seen a thing from Spurs fans, and they're talking about De Zerbi. He'd be mad to leave Brighton to go there, in my opinion. But they were talking about Michael Carrick and someone else as well, and I'm like, okay, they Spurs fans don't seem to want the big shiny manager. They want a longer term. I think the Conte and Mourinho. Yeah, Ryan Mason. I've seen him getting mentioned.
They say that, but then when they get someone that's a bit lower profile and they don't spend the money and it doesn't happen, they want a big manager again. It's just
I think they've been burned, but haven't they, by Mourinho and Conte?
Like Conte only had a couple of months left in his contract. Like I'm surprised that they're sacking him and giving him a load of money. And they could have just left him sitting there to June and he walks away.
He's a bad egg. Like he's killing the place. You know what I mean? It's just get him out. Kelleher. I think Spurs would be mad not to be going for him. I think the likes of Brighton and all would be.
Because Archie asks Gav, if Kelleher wasn't Irish, would you not leave him at number 2 indefinitely? It's nothing to do with him being Irish. Actually, funny, if he was English, right, the clamour for him to leave Liverpool would be monstrous, right? It'd be like, oh, he's England this and he could be England that, and all of a sudden he has to go out and play. The fact that he's Irish, it's kind of kept under the radar a little bit, but Keith, you're going Kelleher out. Shawnee,
I'm going Kelleher out, yeah.
You think Kelleher goes?
Yeah. Again, if I had a choice, I'd keep him. Or I'd be keeping him, but
if I'm being selfish,
if I'm being completely selfish, I keep him because he's the best number 2 in the league by a mile.
He's better than some number 1s.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's a top 6 Premier League keeper easy. I think like anyone from Leicester to Brighton will be taking him. Brentford, even if they're going to lose your man David Raya, I'd go up as far as Spurs. I'd even say he's a better goalkeeper than Ramsdale. Honestly, I'd say he would suit United better than De Gea does. Honestly, I do. I believe he's that good.
Modern keeper, isn't he? Ball with the feet. He's comfortable. He's comfortable at all of it.
He's a modern keeper, and that's not saying that they're all shite goalkeepers. I just think Kelleher is that good. I know. I seen that there was talk that Dortmund are interested in him, and Frankfurt as well are interested in him because apparently there's a couple of clubs around Europe chasing Kobel from Dortmund. So, like, it would be a smart sign, I think, for Dortmund to do.
Stevie's throwing a brilliant shout in there. Kelleher should go to Celtic. I think that's a fucking great show. And it's not one I've ever seen. No. Listen,
Celtic, though.
I know that, but he gets to play Champions League football. I think that's a great show. And I think it's actually suit Liverpool. He gets to play Champions League football. He gets to play in a team that plays football. It's actually a great show. I'm not saying it'd be. You don't know, like it's a great show.
Like Munich got your man Sommer, but like, I honestly reckon that Kelleher is that caliber of goalkeeper. I genuinely do.
So do I. I think he's very good
for his age. Like for his age, I do. I really do. And they're rarity these days.
Is Celtic enough of a test for them?
That's what I was going to say. Lack of challenge.
I don't think it is.
Up there,
maybe so, but the way Celtic are, they're getting in the Champions League. He goes to a Spurs. It's not guaranteed. He
goes to a Celtic. He gets 6. He's not even guaranteed 6.
Yeah, I 100% get that. But I think it's a good show. I think it's a good show on Liverpool's part.
Listen, if any team in the world are considering signing Pickford when he's on the market, there's something fucking seriously wrong. If Kelleher was English, we'd be getting 50 or 60 million for him.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think I think it's madness. But Emma, I think you're in agreement that Kelleher leaves, right? So
yeah, I think Keith is right, and he's made for Spurs. Get rid of Lloris, or like Shawnee says, I think he could be used as a make weight in any Bellingham deal as well.
Yeah, because I know Kev O'Sullivan wants him to go to Dortmund. But like Passio was saying there, Celtic aren't paying 30 million for Keller, so what are we talking about?
Exactly.
I'm not talking about selling them. I'm not talking about selling them. I'm talking about sending them out and saying, here, go for 2 years on loan to Celtic, play Champions League football. And then he comes back. Why not?
Why not? In 2 years' time.
In 2 years' time, he could fucking... I'm not saying it's a forced choice, but if he goes to Celtic, he gets Champions League football, he wins games, he wins trophies, and in 2 years' time, you never know. Alisson could decide he wants a different challenge. Kelleher comes back after playing solid for 2 years.
I wouldn't even be surprised if that lunatic Bowley went bad on him, honestly, because they mainly inherit the reach of Balaga. So, look, put it this way, I don't think Kelleher will be short of clubs looking at him. And I'd like to see him go Bundesliga. I'd like to see him try, like even Leipzig or maybe, who knows, but
Leipzig have signed one of the best keepers in Europe, Martin van der Voort, Belgian guy off Genk for I think the summer. He's only 20, so he'll be Leipzig's keeper. Leipzig will be boxed off.
Olivier says Keller going to Celtic is a major step backwards in his career. He's not playing football, so it's not a step back in his career. It's simply not. At the moment, he's playing.
I think in terms of a permanent move, it probably would.
I'm not saying a permanent.
No, I'm just saying.
How much would he even develop playing at Celtic?
Yeah.
You don't know, but he's going to play. I mean, he's going to play football.
That's a great shout there, Leverkusen.
Yeah, like I'm not saying Phil Murphy says Leverkusen under Alonso, but I'll agree with Kelleher out, right? Just I'm going to come to your replacements in a minute, right? So at the back, are we all okay with Matip? Are we all
leaving?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if I had my way, I'd sell Gomez, but I'd be keeping Matip ahead of Gomez, but due to the logistics of it, then okay.
Well, then if you want to stick with Gomez going, you can.
Yeah, but you can't, because it's just fucking, you're kicking the can down the road in terms of having to bring in home grounds, and it's just, if we had an unlimited pile of money, it'd be grand, because you'd be like, there's Mount coming in and fucking X amount, or there's your man Levi Caldwell who played in Chelsea are clearing the decks, and you have all the money to throw about. But I don't think we will, to be honest with you. I think we're going to be, if I'm being completely dour and fucking realistic here, I think next August we're all going to be fucking pissing them out and that the work hasn't been done. Because there's nothing to suggest it will be.
So Matip, okay, so there you go. So that we're going to go on definites here, right? So you think Matip, right? So into midfield, I'll just name them: Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain. They're the only two definites out the door for use. Emma?
In midfield.
Well, Curtis Jones, I think, should be gone.
Okay.
I have him loan, others saying sell.
Okay.
So
okay.
And I have Fabinho going as well.
And Shawnee touched on Fabinho. Yeah. So, asking you straight up now, should Liverpool sell Fabinho in the summer?
I would.
Okay. Keith would. Shawnee?
I wouldn't.
Okay. You wouldn't. Okay. Because you were going on what you think FSG would do earlier. Now you're going on what you would do, aren't you?
Yeah. Because it's just,
that's absolutely fine. You have a bang on. You have a bang on.
There's way too much to do.
I think Bajcetic changed the outlook on that. I think Bajcetic coming in and other players can play that position. I think he goes. So I think for that reason, I would get rid of him, and I think that's where he could go. Again, looking at him as a saleable asset, touching back on Matip over Gomez, one of the things there is Matip's out of contract next summer. When you look at the players that are leaving us on frees, we're getting no money back off any of these saleable assets. Do you know what I mean? For a sell-to-buy club, we don't sell players that are worth that. And so I think maybe this summer I would be looking to move on just for that reason. As Shawnee said as well, the homegrown thing of Gomez we have to consider as well. Otherwise you're bringing in fucking English players and they come at a premium. Okay.
So there's a lot to do there. Right? So up front. Okay, up front. Keith, are you changing anything up front this summer?
No.
So I'm going to name
question mark on Jota, right? Question mark on Jota, but I don't know what the replacement will be. So I'm going to say no.
No, what would you do though?
I would sell him if he got a high offer for him. But
But you've also said you don't know who you bring in.
I would trust that they would try and bring in someone for less money, but then again, I don't know. So I would keep the front line as it is.
Okay.
With Bobby going, obviously.
Yeah, so Bobby goes, so you've Diaz, you've Nunez, you've Salah, you've Gakpo, and I'm missing someone else. Jota. Yeah.
And look at giving Doak more money. Yeah.
I know. I didn't want to say Doak because I know Shawnee wants Doak in the squad next season.
Yeah.
So Keith and Shawnee seem like they're okay with that. Emma up front, there's loads to do in this squad.
I'm happy up top. Okay. Yeah. So the only one that's really going is Bobby, but we have brought in
Cody Gakpo.
Gakpo. Yeah. Okay. And you're gonna have
again. It's gonna be like. Another thing, like regardless of money to spend, it's system as well. It's going to be important because I think there's players in the Liverpool squad now that don't fit 4-3-3. Like I look at Harvey Elliott and I think don't know, and I look at Carvalho thinking why do we buy him?
Yeah,
because maybe if Klopp's going to change, well then obviously things move around. But if you look at the difference, if you look at what you see with Nunez and Gakpo. There are two players who can interchange and play wide or through the middle, and we've even seen Gakpo play as like an orthodox, like 8, sort of like what when we signed Oxlade-Chamberlain, that he looked really good away against Madrid, like in that role. So again, like the only change, like the ins and outs are not the only changes that can be made here that would shape what's going to happen. There could be system changes which change things as well. So I'm looking now thinking like Carvalho is a very talented player and same with Elliott, but if in a Liverpool best 11 next year that's going for the league, I don't know where I'm putting them two in. That's just being honest. That's not a slight on them. I just don't know whether the system that we got us to the dance is the system that gets you the best out of Elliott and Carvalho. Although there has been flashes of brilliance from Elliott, but we want specialists, don't we? Like that's kind of what guys we need, like another genie. But that's kind of like that's my roundabout way of saying I haven't a fucking clue what's going to happen because
look, you know.
Well, you're right.
You're right.
System will dictate that.
Yeah, and we don't have a clue. Nobody has a clue. Like if anyone out there thinks anyone has a clue, they're wrong. As simple as that. They do not have a fucking brace, and we don't have a brace. We're just having a chat about what we would do. So let's switch it back, right? Keith, I'll come to you first because I think it's a massive issue here with Kelleher going is what you do as backup to Alisson. Because I've asked about Zila or whatever his name is, can he play with the ball at his feet? And people are like, he's only a bleeding fella beyond the bench there, but hold on. We've seen Alisson get injured and we've seen Kelleher having to come in, and Kelleher was really good because of the type of keeper he is. I don't think you can lose Kelleher and just bring in any old goalkeeper.
No,
you know what I mean?
Neither do I.
Now, Harvey, what's his name?
Harvey Davis.
Harvey Davis is an up and coming goalkeeper for Liverpool. Seems highly rated. I have no issue with him going in third choice if you're ousting Adrian. But I think as a second choice goalkeeper, I think it's quite a crucial signing you have to make in the summer. I don't think it's one where you just go, Kelleher goes for 25 or 30 and that's in the bank to spend. I don't think you can look at it like this.
Yeah.
So where are you going?
I think Zila has been mentioned an awful lot, and I remember looking at Zila a few years ago and thinking he was a decent keeper. So I went online today just as we were planning for this show. So I'll have a look at Zila, see what he's been doing lately. And you know when you Google a keeper and it comes up top saves, all I was seeing for Zila was bloopers. Right, so straight away,
not having that.
I don't think I want that. He's at an age now where he's older and he's making mistakes. I don't think he's the answer. So I then looked at Sam Johnson, who I think is at Palace, who's had about 15 Premier League clubs.
This is the fellow highly rated at Villa, was it?
He was at Villa. He came through at United. Yeah, he came through at United. And he came through there and he was hugely rated. And I was looking at him, and then simply the two of them for the homegrown. And then I said, fuck that, not a chance. I want the best young keeper we can get to go in there as the number 2. So I spoke about Martin van der Voort off Leipzig. Well, he's going to Leipzig in the summer. He's brilliant. He's been in the gang team for a few years now. He's only 20. And another one Liverpool are linked with is the one who I'd go for. Is a Dutch keeper who's playing for Anderlecht now called Bart Verbruggen. And he is 20 years old and he's linked with Liverpool right now. I've only seen bits of this fella. I'm not going to claim I'm an expert on Anderlecht by any stretch of the I watch some shite, but I don't watch Anderlecht. So I just was doing research on this fella. Yeah, no offence, if anyone's watching.
Sorry, Anderlecht.
I think, right, over the last few years, something that I've always found was that Belgian league is actually a good breeding ground for goalkeepers. I think they do produce good keepers over there. And this fellow was linked, and I sort of didn't give too much of a look, but then I was looking up at him today, and he seems to be very highly rated. Now, you're looking at 10 million to get this fella, but there are talks that there's going to be... Now, Liverpool are linked with him, apparently, but there's talks of Manchester United coming in from him, and other teams in Europe are going from him. So that's the profile of player that I would go for. I don't think you're going to get a top keeper to be a number 2 behind Alisson. You're either getting a good young keeper or you're getting an old timer. So I'd go for the good young keeper rather than the older player.
Because we speak so much about if Liverpool don't spend X amount of money or back Klopp this summer, people will be going mad, and they will. There's no doubt about that. But part of my argument on this is, lads, if Alisson goes down for 10 games in September, right, and Robert Z or whatever his name is comes on and he's all over the camp, people will go fucking mad, even though they've made the argument in July that he's homegrown, and that really frees up a spot. Like, genuinely, there'll be absolute fucking meltdowns if this fella, despite him being homegrown, wanders onto the pitch during a game that Liverpool are playing. That's just my opinion on it. Shawnee, we've all said Kelleher will go, so what sort of keeper are you looking to bring in? Because Harvey Davis will get promoted, I think, and you may see Adrian.
He'll be number 2. I think Harvey Davis will be number 2.
Okay, so do you just promote him to number 2 and leave Adrian where he is?
I think that's what... I don't know whether they leave Adrian where he is. I think they might just look to get some fucking...
Like a Zealer or something.
Well, we have Pitaluga and Yaros as well, so...
We have a load of top... highly rated young goalkeepers at the club, and it's going to have to come to fruition some way or another, and it already is with Kelleher. Yeah. Well, Kelleher was 21 when he broke into the team, isn't he? Harvey Davis is 19.
Mm-hmm.
Look, if you're good enough, you're old enough. I was really impressed with Harvey Davis, what I was seeing from him in pre-season in terms of pinging the ball about. He looked comfortable enough to do that where it wouldn't be a sea change. If Alisson goes down and any second choice keeper, bar Kelleher is in the club, people are going to be having shit fits anyway. People would still probably be having shit hemorrhages if Kelleher was available. So it's just one of them things. I think they'll promote Harvey Davis, and I think they'll pull some stocking off the rank, some English, some fella that'll be happy.
That's the option, isn't it? The homegrown no mark off the happy list.
Yeah, to be happy to collect his wages, and like an English Adrian.
Lonergan is going to be free again, isn't he? He's out of contract with Everton.
Lonergan just packs up his bags and everything and wanders back across
that's
the park
the thing,
into Liverpool. But then again, Everton might need him because there's a transfer ban coming for them as well, so they won't be allowed to sell anyone.
He could be their Pickford replacement next summer.
Yeah. Emma.
Yeah, I went for the Yaman Zealer, so Keith pissed all over that. So we'll just do Harvey Davies. I've never seen him play. I've only gone by what Kev O'Sullivan.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you're looking at 3 different options there. So Keith's looking at a young keeper that'll cost you money. Shawnee's looking at promoting a guy who's 19 up into second place, and you're looking at bringing in an experienced guy. So there's 3 different kind of ways of going. I'm delighted it's kind of felt like that because they're the 3 different ways. But centre half. Matip goes, you're going to have to bring in one. I know we've skirted around Simicast and different things, and I think it'll be a huge season for young Ramsey, I think, next season, because there's been so much made of Trent this year, and form and whatever else, and attitude, whatever way you want to throw, but I genuinely think he does need someone to compete, to be there and go, we're not, like, it's all very well taking Trent off if he's in bad form, and you're putting Milner on, and Milner will do a job for you, right? Despite what people say, he'll come on and do a job for you, right, for 20 minutes. It might be the best job in the world, but he'll do a job. But I think Trent's attitude would change massively if he's taken off and a young 18, 19-year-old Ramsey is coming on and going, I'm going to belt up and down this line, and I'm going to fucking throw everything at it. And then it might make a player look and go, oh, hold on a minute, I'm not being replaced by a 37-year-old now. I'm being replaced by an 18-year-old who's physical, strong, quick, can play football. And we've scared around like the right back and the left back, but centre back. And I'm going to be honest, when we done the show a couple weeks ago, we all looked at Ndicka because he was a free contract. And we are in the back of our head, we were thinking, like, what will we spend and stuff like that. But would you all do Ndicka, or would you like to see money spent at centre half? Shawnee?
Yeah, what I want Vardy.
Same.
Right. No fucking
simple as.
Yeah,
yeah.
2-1 down as
honestly,
well.
You're right. Are you serious about a rebuild, or are you not?
Right.
Ndicka me bollocks. I guarantee that. I guarantee you. No, I guarantee you. Nobody.
Hold on, I just have to write down the time that occurred. Hold on.
I'm going Vardy as well. That's how I do. I think you just buy the best in class. The thing that people say, oh, there's no money, there's no this, there's no track record of Liverpool spending. I think there is a track record, and it's 17, 18. Was it when we went big on players? Now, I know we didn't get Van Dijk and we sold Coutinho in the January, but I think that rebuild was happening anyway. And I think we're at that stage again. So I think there will be money available. And I think we could look and say, Vardy, you then have 3 centre-backs that you're looking at, and then Joe Gomez just as a token option. I think Klopp could well look to really strengthen that centre-half unit, because even the ones that are still there are injury-prone, or have injury issues.
If they're serious about this rebuild, they'll be going for the likes of Vardy. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting question in 5 minutes when I ask about midfield. After both of you saying Guardiola, but
Emma, I was going to say that I don't. He's going to cost close to what Bellingham's going to cost. 8. That's why I see. I don't see us doing
£80 million.
We won't. He won't cost. I'm telling you.
No, that's the figure that's being quoted.
That's why I don't see it happening though.
He won't cost.
It's probably needed elsewhere more than it is at centre half.
No,
I've got. I keep breaking up. I've got Ndicka, and then also Bella Kocha from Southampton. I think he's actually looked impressive this season. And with them going down, you could test the waters, and he might not actually be that expensive. German, only 21 as well. Yeah. So. I've also got another defender. I don't know whether we want to talk about it.
Come on, yeah, you're going big on the defenders. I like it.
I would also take a punt on Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yeah, I have him on my list as well. He covers left back as well. That's why I'll be looking at selling Tsimikas.
And this is not kind of against Ramsey or anything like that, but like he's been injured for the majority of his time at Liverpool. So if he still has these growing pains into next season, I know this operation is supposed to solve all of that, but the last thing we'll want to be doing is going through another season where Ramsey's out injured and Trent needs a rest, or we've no competition for Trent. And I just think with Southampton being where they are, there could be a fire sale. And I think you could probably get the two of those for maybe 30 or 40 million for the two of
them. Just on Vardy, 80 million is the number that's being quoted, pounds. Where do you, if it's not 80 million, where do you think it comes in at? Because there's being bids apparently of that around that type or that amount that's being torn down. Paul Gormley's not impressed. Fucking raiding Southampton again.
City wanted him to get him, wouldn't they? Chelsea wanted him to get him, and if United had taken over and they want him to get him, and that's who we're supposed to be fucking competing with. So if the owners are serious about going next year, the way they talked about it, then they have to fucking do it. And that's not one of this not being smart. That is being smart. You're literally, you're fucking replacing Virgil before he's anywhere near finished. Because I don't think he is. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But he'd light a fucking fire underneath Virgil's ass, because he clearly fucking needs. All them Ndickas and all lads, you haven't seen them play. Yeah. Don't lie about it. You definitely haven't.
Well, Paul
you looked at him based on it's based on what, like?
No, and they could be fairly well known. Like Frankfurt have done well, haven't they? Like, so you could probably base something on that. But they've been linked with. So I was looking at this. So I go Guardiola as well. I think just spend that and rebuild your defence in one go there and spend whatever it takes, and you just do it. Other names that Liverpool are linked with, right? So there's Guardiola and Dicke. There's Inacio at Sporting Lisbon. He's only 20, left-footed centre back.
Very good.
Great player. Antonio Silva at Benfica. He's only, I think, 19.
Someone mentioned him
earlier.
In
the Portugal squad in the World Cup. Yeah, youngest ever player at the World Cup. Looks mustard as well.
Freedom of Liverpool mentioned him earlier.
You've got Jurriën Timber getting a mention as well. You've got Max Kilman at Wolves getting a lot of mentions, which is a bit weird. And even worse than that, you've got your man Aguerd at West Ham getting linked with Liverpool. I can't see that one being a runner at all.
Nathan Collins is brilliant. Nathan Collins is deadly.
Nathan Collins is getting a lot of mention in chats and all that, but I don't know if there's. I don't know if he's good enough for the top.
He's out of favourite, isn't he? Under Lopetegui. I think so. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Is he?
I thought he was. Yeah.
No, I think man Kilman has probably been starting ahead of him.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, he's good as well.
Well, Paul Gormley wasn't happy at the fact that raiding Southampton again. I'm not sure on Bella Kotchap if you're going to go big on centre backs, but I know where you're coming from. If you're trying to bring someone in of an Ndicka level, maybe you go somewhere there. But I don't know how much he'll cost. But I've no problem with Guardiola. But it's 80 million quid. Are we? Oh, yeah.
I'm alright with that. Yeah, I'm happy. It's not my money.
And as Shawnee says, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Jake asks, is there no one from South America's market in centre backs, Keith? Any upcoming ones? Might as well throw a few names. Was there? Nothing?
Nah, there's not.
Pau Torres is brilliant. Class. I've been very impressed with him any time I've seen him.
Pau Torres is one. He's constantly linked with Manchester United, but isn't he? But that ship could have sailed with Ten Hag coming in. I think Liverpool will look at, and just my opinion, for transfers, I'm more interested in the Portuguese market and the Dutch market at the moment for Liverpool for some reason. I think that's where they tend to look. But even with saying that, the likes of Inacio and Silva and Timber, I'd go for Guardiola over them all. I just think that's the one that's nearly the quick fix to making you a bit more like Liverpool when Virgil came in. Do you know what I mean? I think it shores her up. If you have him, Virgil and Ebu, I think you become a bit more solid again. So he's the one. There's nothing really in South America that you'd be taking flyers on them. You know what I mean? The best centre back probably not in South America, but your man Heinz Pay at Leverkusen, it'd be a decent player, but I wouldn't want him at Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Like, so now I think Portugal, Holland, or else Guardiola. So that's what we do. So
into midfield, and this is where Liverpool are going to earn their credit this summer without a doubt. You know, you can argue over goalkeepers, you can kind of nip and tuck over centre halves, although your centre half shout was a big one there, Keaton, Shawnee, but midfield is where they're going to earn their corn this summer. So, Emma, I'm going to come to you first. Midfield, what are you doing in midfield? Because we've spoken there of two definitely going out, possibly one experienced player maybe leaving, and then you're looking at the couple of fringes that they going on loan. So, how many, Kev, or Emma, first of all?
I've got 4 here. We could probably get rid of one of them. Or if it's a case that they do decide to get rid of Fabinho, you could probably go with the 4. So I've got Bellingham, Mount, Nunez, and Ugarte.
Okay. Add it up how much that's costing you.
That is costing me 2 seconds. £210
million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I get a breakdown on that? How much have you got Nunez valued at?
40.
Fucking fantastic work there, Emma, because I have 3 of them and I have the exact same prices nearly. Yeah.
I've got 100 for Bellingham. I've got 40 for Mount, 40 for Nunez, and 30 for Ugarte.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got 40 Ugarte, 30 Mount, but yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
So the Bellingham thing rumbles on. As I said at the start of the show, we've seen Gerrard with him today on the pitch at Wembley, and
Stop! I seen Gerrard up in the blame back fours last weekend. It doesn't mean we're going to be signing lads off them.
Signing Conor McGregor.
But
Conor McGregor playing
Emmet,
next year.
Emmet, that's what you would do. And if that's what you're doing, right? If that's what you're doing, you're basically saying Liverpool are spending 250 odd million this summer, right? When you add in maybe a centre back and something like goalkeeper.
240 with 53 outgoings, so 187 net.
Okay, so basically, by giving me that number, you're basically saying to me that has to be spent, and that is it, right? So you're not having this 80 million fucking net or 100 million net, and net is only reflective of how good you are at sales. But I kind of get it when we're selling Jota for 60 to bring in a fella for 30, and that doesn't make a lot of sense. But that for you then, them four, you see Bellingham in an 8, you see Nunez in an 8. You see Ugarte as a
6
defensive midfielder. Who was the fourth? And Mount. Mount has grown on me by the day.
I think Mount plays a few, can fill a few positions.
Yeah. So that's your four, and you're basically nailing your colours to the mast of big.
The only one I would be kind of willing to drop out there is Nunez, because I only have him in there because he's heavily linked.
Yes.
Not been massively impressed with what I've seen. But that's the only reason he's in there. I'd probably, if out of the four, he'd be the one that I'd probably drop out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Keith,
what are you doing? I'm doing Mount, Bellingham, and Ugarte as well. Okay. So I was looking. We were speaking about Ugarte earlier. And the more I thought about it, I think I'd sell Fabinho if he could get Ugarte. And when I said earlier that I think Bajcetic changed the thinking in that, I didn't mean that he becomes the number 6 and you don't have to buy a midfielder. I think if you could sell, I think you could get Ugarte for about 40 million, right? Maybe ambitious, I don't know. I think 40 million seems to be the research. There's a buyout clause at $50 million or something, I don't know. I think you get 50 million for Fabinho itself. Fabinho and replace him. I think Mount is very good, and people think, what does Mount do? What I think Mount does, he does play many positions, and he's very good. I've heard it said a few times, he's one of the best players at taking on instructions and carrying out instructions. And I think Liverpool need players like that can go in. He got compared to Lallana at Liverpool, or James Milner, even, in the sense that he'll sacrifice his play for the team, and that's what they said at Chelsea and at England. They couldn't understand why he was getting in ahead of more established players, but that many of his coaches felt that tactically he takes on everything they want tactically from him. He takes it on, and he's technically good as well. I think he's a very good player. And I think the contract thing plays in with him as well. And the homegrown plays in with him. I think he's a good signing, because I think you can move him around. If you were to go to a 4-2-3-1, you can play in any of the three ahead of the two. Do you know what I mean? Would you play him in a winger in a 4-3-3? Probably not, but you'd play him in a midfield three. I think he's what they hoped Ox would be. Do you know what I mean? And I think he makes all the sense in the world.
That's what it's coming across to me as.
Yeah, and I think him and Bellingham, and I think Ugarte is a 21-year-old, right? He's Uruguayan. I said it to you earlier, he's very Mascherano. Very Mascherano. Now, obviously not fully Mascherano, but very sort of scampers around the ground, slides in, wins balls, starts plays. I would take a punt on him. A lot of the other players that we get linked with, look, I've said it for ages. I take Caicedo fantasy stuff, but I think the price is going too high for him. And I think you have to now look at the rung below that. I would go with that. An interesting one that I toyed with as well was Gravenberch, because Jose Enrique fucking let the cat out of the bag that he's signing for Liverpool. And straight away you think, what the fuck does Jose Enrique know? But then he's claiming that they've the same agent and it's a done deal to Liverpool. Now, I think that'd be a sensible one for Liverpool. I think that's like in the old days of you're picking up a distressed asset that was highly rated and it just hasn't worked for him. I think it'd be an interesting one to do, but if I'm and Alexis McAllister would be a fantasy one for me as well.
Be a joke.
The price,
Alexis McAllister won't be that expensive because he's not long left in his contract apparently.
I think he signed a new one. I think he was out of contract in the summer. He was a freebie this summer, and I think he signed a new contract.
He's the one.
He's the one. I think he'd be the Genie Wijnaldum that we're missing, but a bit more oil as well. And he'd be the one. Caicedo and McAllister, they're the ones I'd really be all over. But I think we'll go a run down on that. I think it will be someone like Ugarte. See, Kefren Thuram getting a lot of heat as well, and Kudio Kone. That type of player.
So, Shawnee, how many are you going for, and who are they?
If you give me three of any, I'd take it'd be Bellingham, McAllister, and either Paulinho from Fulham or Romeo Lavia from Southampton. Yeah. But I know Man City have a boy back on Lavia, so I'd imagine that's probably where he's going to go. What I think will happen is we'll sign Bellingham and Nunes, Matthias Nunes. That's what I think is going to happen. I think we'll sign 2 midfielders in the summer. I think he's going to keep Fabinho. I think they're going to go with Bajcetic, and then you'd have Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson, Bellingham, and Nunes, and then Thiago as well. I don't think I mentioned Thiago or Henderson or Weber. That's probably what I'd be doing, to be honest with you. I'd be looking at McAllister. I think he'd be far better value than Mount with a year left on his deal would be. Even though I really like Mason Mount as a player, he's going to command a lot more wages than someone else. I'd probably like a Mount to get a knocks at the stage we got him from Arsenal, which was a good signing at the time, but we're going to have to pay over the odds for him, I reckon. So that's what I do. But I have a feeling that it's going to be Bellingham and Nunes, and then there'll be one other if Fabinho goes. And I think that those deals, if they're done, are already done. But again, this is a case of if it's not Bellingham, then it's going to have to be someone else. And I really don't know if you don't get Bellingham now, it's going to be a fucking farce, because from his side, from our side, it's ridiculous. All the talk the last few years. Now, when I say talk, I mean from journals, is that this is the one we've been waiting for. And if you let him slip through our fingers, and if there's any excuse as to why it doesn't happen in the summer, there should be fucking uproar. But I think people need to flip that thinking that we need 250 million. We don't. You won't need 250 million if you buy the right players. And that's what I'm saying. If the expense on Vardiol and Bellingham is big, you're not spending 200 million in one window to sign these fellas. These are something that you're.
They're paid over the front, and then the cost of contract and all.
So it's all. But Lavia is one who's really impressed me when I watched some Paulinho.
Someone says there that the Lavia boy back to City isn't until next season.
Yeah, well then I'd be looking at him because he's very good. Whenever I've seen him, he's very. I seen your man Ugarte once against Arsenal in the Europa League, and he was good. I'll take the boy. Yeah, but he was brilliant before that. He was probably that best.
He was deadly that night. Yeah.
I stand by the fact that Jude Bellingham to Liverpool shouldn't have any effect.
But it does, Gav. How can you say that?
Because I'll tell you why. Because Jude Bellingham is 19 years of age. He's the best midfielder in the world at his age, without a doubt. Right, in my opinion.
Doesn't mean it's not fake. It's real money.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if this, right, what you just said a few minutes ago is this. It'd be a farce if it didn't happen. The talk, and this is the one we're waiting on and stuff like that. You can't sign the one you're waiting on and just decide over here that all this stuff can't be fixed because we're signing the one we're waiting on. If this is the one they're waiting on, they've been saving up. They've been getting that money, pocket money every week, and they've been lashing it in the tin, waiting for this to happen. So that's why I think Jude Bellingham, if he's signed for Liverpool, should not affect Liverpool going and sign 2 other midfielders. As much as you sign Bellingham, and that would be brilliant, I would still at the end of the summer go, yeah, you signed him, he's fucking great, he's brilliant. But what about over here? So all the talk of the money on Bellingham should be a case of, yeah, it's big money, but it shouldn't stop what Liverpool are trying to do somewhere else. Because
I agree with you,
because no matter what way you roll this dice, right? In a year's time, we're going to be sitting here in exactly a year's time going, we need 3 midfielders. Because you're going to look at, if you keep Thiago, Henderson, Milner, forget about, because he'd be 40 at that fucking stage or something, right? Thiago, Henderson and Fabinho, you're going to be saying we probably need to replace 2 of them, right? So it's not a case of this is all of the fix, but if you don't put in as much of the fix as you can now, it's going to be, next summer will be, or the summer of 2024 will be this summer with added on top. Do you know what I mean? It will genuinely be added on top. For me in midfield, it has to be Bellingham. I'm grown to the idea of Mount. I really, really am.
I like Mount. I really.
And
like,
I think the other one.
I didn't pick him because I didn't pick him out like as a slight. I did not pick him. I really, really rate Mount. But you're going to be paying 60, 70 million for a lad with a year left in his contract.
No, I think you're getting for 30, 35.
No way, not a chance.
I'd have
to see the price on him. But I tell you, the other midfield signing, McAllister is a brilliant player, but you're spending fucking savage money. Gavi's being mentioned, but like, they'll find a way. They'll find a way around that.
That's it's all bollocks. It's all shite to just keep.
Kefran Turam is the one that's always in my head. Always in my head. Seen him 4 or 5 times.
Seen his Alpha play 12 years ago. He was dead.
No, I remember his dad in the World Cup in '98. But no, and the reason being is because, and someone said it earlier in the chat, we talk about Mount being able to play in various positions. He can do this as well. And, Fabinho, the successor to him might be Bacic, it might be. But Thuram, to me, is a player that comes in and he covers positions. And you're going to need that because, like or not, Fabinho, Henderson and Thiago all miss games of football. They all miss games of football. And that's why I think that the Mount one actually attracts me to that, because Mount at 24, is he? Mount? Somewhere around that. Yeah. He's played a lot of football. A fucking lot of football. So it's not like he's coming in.
Mount only 24?
I think he's only about 24.
Mount has only missed 12 games of football since 18-19.
What age is he?
Oh, he's a bit older than that.
24.
Oh.
24.
Is he 24?
Yeah. So that's why the age of Mount and the experience of him, because a lot of people the last time are like, oh, we've no 25 or 26-year-olds if we do this, do that. I think that 24 Mount is
only turned 24 in January.
He's a brilliant addition to the squad because of the experience he has in big fucking games at 24 years of age. So overall, looking at that, you've been quite similar. Goalkeeper, you's a different way of going around the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper will leave. The centre back, Emmett's gone down a route of a free transfer. Maybe a Bella Kotchap, someone like that, who, I don't know, would it be 20 million quid if Southampton went down? I don't know I have no idea.
If we had an endless pot of money, I would have said Gvardiol as well. But I just think that the money is needed elsewhere, that we kind of probably need to patch up at the back, but we need to go big in the middle.
Yeah, but I think if you put Gvardiol in there with Bellingham, and whatever you were mentioning, lads, it's probably 240-ish million quid, is it? Somewhere around there, which is quite close to you, Emmet, isn't it? Because you went with 4, they went with 3 in midfield.
No, if I took out Núñez, it would only be an extra 40 million on top of Núñez, let's say.
So
only.
Yeah, but again, I think the big thing to come out of it is that you have identified that, yes, a goalkeeper will leave. I think you've all been fairly open on the whole centre-back thing, and you go different ways about that. Midfield, you are all, I think, bang on with who will leave. There is a few around the edges with loans, the likes of Carvalho or whoever else. But in midfield, I think you've gone for names that would absolutely enhance Liverpool. But all 3 of you have definitely erred on the side of, listen, forget fucking who you're going to sell and what you're going to get for them. These are the players you have to go and get. This is what you're going to have to spend. And if you make some money back somewhere on players that would not start anyway, I'm not doing this Jota thing, I'm just refusing to. Fine. That's just being good at selling players. But overall, lads, I think, and we'll talk about it.
We're going to save a fortune. I think we're going to save a fortune on wages as well.
Well,
we will. Yeah, that's
I think
a good point.
you've got Keita going, Ox going.
Well, Keita and Ox is $250,000 a week.
Bobby.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Bobby and Matip are on big toes,
Yeah. I think just overall, I think like we're going to talk about this loads.
Ox and Keita Ox is on about 180 grand a week.
No,
Ox is I think Ox and Keita are about 120. I think Bobby is 180,
I think.
And Matip is 100.
Yeah, so you're looking at it's.
But if you're bringing in the likes of an Ndicka or Bella Kotchap, like Ndicka, you probably get away with paying. I think he only earns something like 19 grand.
Fucking mattress Mick up there, the salesman selling us on Bella Kotchap and Ndicka.
Throw 50 grand on him, he'd be grand.
It's funny, like, because one thing I think about it, and it's something you've said, Gav, it's something you always say, the Bellingham deal is separate, and I think the money, we've heard it in the past, the money is there for the right player was never there. They tried to get Tchouaméni. I don't believe for 1 second that we went out and bought Darwin Núñez because we missed Tchouaméni. So I think there's money is there. I think this myth that Liverpool don't have money, I think they're reluctant to just spend it unless it's for a player that they have maybe on their A list. So I think you're looking at Bellingham, I think will be a side project to all of this. So I think if you park him to one side and they get him, I think you're looking. So what I went with was Bellingham, Mount, Ugarte and Gvardiol. Keeper, we can just throw any shite back and goal, that's fine. But I'm looking at 100 million on Bellingham, right? I'm looking at 80 on Gvardiol. That's big outlay. That's 180 million on them too. And then I'm looking at Mount as around the 30 million mark, and I'm looking at Ugarte as around the 40 million mark. So you're talking about 180, 210, 250 million.
That's before sales.
Yeah, that's 250 million.
Yeah, but the sales going out.
But I have Fabinho going out as well.
If you have Fabinho going out, you're probably looking at 60 to 70 million in sales.
So I'd be looking at Kelleher going out. I have 20. Maybe that's conservative. Maybe you get more. I have Matip going out for 20. I have Fabinho going for 50. And then I forgot about Phillips, throwing another 10 into the pot for him as well. They could do Simicast as well if they got a good deal. Yeah, but I think there's money can come in, but I think we need to forget about this. As I
money
say,
coming in, I think you should forget about money coming in as well. I think you should.
Yeah, I think money coming in will just be the put against.
Yeah, but lads, how can you? I'm not being funny. How can you forget about money coming in when it's literally been our model since?
I understand that. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to this summer, by all means, try to get the best deal you can. And like someone said there, if you're buying Mount off the back of sales, it's there. Scott says Bellingham, Gvardiol, and Mount paid for by sales in regards to Mount. We can survive until next summer with Fabinho and Stefan. There's no great six out there this summer for him. But I'm not saying you disregard what you bring in. What I'm saying is what you bring in should not determine what you are willing to spend on a Jude Bellingham or a Gvardiol or whoever, a Mount, whoever it might be. You will spend that. You're going to have to spend it. And if you get money back in, that's absolutely fine. And I know the model they have, and I've talked to fucking blue in the face about the model that they have, but they've walked themselves into a situation now where they have no way around it. They have no way around it. And it wouldn't be good enough for Liverpool this summer, let's be honest, if they turned around and went, we've enough up front, we sold Jota for 60 million quid, but we signed him over here, we signed these fellas you all wanted. Yeah, but you fucking got rid of a player that we needed as well. That can't happen anymore.
Yeah.
That can't, especially this summer. It can't. It has to be, they are the players we want. We're going to have to buy them. We're buying them. And if we get 50, 60, 70 million back somewhere, great. But the way they've walked themselves into this now, in my opinion, is it used to be based on sales, and you get 50 million in here for a few fringe players. That's great. And it's brilliant. But don't let that dictate what you're going to pay for this fella over here, because it won't work. It simply will not work. And they don't have the tangible assets in the squad to sell anyway, right? Yeah. Without upsetting the actual playing squad as you would see them on a week-to-week basis. That's just me on it.
And there's not many in the squad that you'd look and say they could sell and get good money for. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're looking, people are talking about Mo Salah. Like, I wouldn't be looking to sell Mo Salah. Do you know what I mean? He's the forwards, I think, and Jurgen Klopp alluded to it, that they're going to do the midfield the way they fixed the forward line. I think the forward line is set. As I said about Jota, it was only if you get blown out of water with a bid, but I don't think there's nothing out there to even consider that. So I think the forward line is fine. And it's, again, maybe they don't do a Guardiola and we have him down at 80 million, and maybe they do be smart. They don't do fucking ragball rovers like Emmet is doing, but they look at one of the Portuguese kids. Do you know what I mean? No, they look at one of the Portuguese lads, Ignacio or Silva, and maybe that's the way they do it. And they look to get their sweet spot of 30 to 40 million, I think, is a huge sweet spot for Liverpool.
We need to keep an eye on the home ground. That's where I was going with Kyle Walker-Peters.
I think
he's a good shout, Kyle Walker-Peters, because I think if you can get a fullback in who can cover both sides, it's a huge asset. Or if you get a centre back that can comfortably play like a Jurrien Timber, can play right back and centre back, if you can get players like that, I think they're very, very valuable to have in your squad. I just don't know how many of them there is out there. But yeah, I'd consider Walker-Peters if you are. I'd sell Tsimikas on the back of that. You know what I mean? If you got to get someone that could do both, if it's about raising money.
Jake says, Gav, who's doing all this transfer work? We don't have a director of football to do any of this yet. Jake, I completely get your point, but if you think Liverpool Football Club are just sitting around going, we don't have a fella to do this, I don't know what to say to you. Like, I genuinely don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's like going into work one day, right? And the fella that does something in work is sick. We all just say and go, he's off. You'd have to just wait till he comes back.
In fairness, we don't have a medical team, you know what I mean? So maybe we won't have a recruitment team.
But I get what but I get what you're saying, Jake. Like, they probably should have someone in place. I would hope that they will put someone in place. Just to be honest with you, just to put an end to it. Put anyone in there, like, genuinely, you know what I mean? Just put anyone in, just to put an end to it at this stage. But I know where you're coming from. But there's no way Liverpool aren't working on any possible deals for the summer. They aren't doing it because there's not a director of football there. Just not for me. I think we're good. I think he's done really well.
Would anyone take Tyler Morton back?
I have him down as homegrown because he is homegrown.
I have him in the squad as well.
Sorry, he's not. He's not homegrown. So Leighton Clarkson, Sepp van der Berg, and Jake Kane all become homegrown this year. So if you're looking for lads to register just for the homegrown, those three. There's another two. I can't pronounce one of the lads' names. I didn't even put them on the list. But there's 5 of them. No, I don't even have it written down now, so I wouldn't even try. But there's 5 of them that become homegrown this year. I think actually Jones was one of the others. He became homegrown on the 30th of January or something.
Jones was. But I think he's done really well. I think, I think it's fairly vocal from the three of you as to what Liverpool need to do. No pricking around, especially when the name Guardiola popped out. He's up to your mouths anyway. And you know what? We wanted to do this because when we done the last show, Keith and Shiny were like, "Oh, give us a go with that." You know what I mean? And he's done. I think he's done really well without being too we're not spending anything to off 500 million quid. So it's been really good. We will definitely do more of this as the season or the end of the season approaches, and when it gets into June, Jesus Christ, it's going to be mayhem. Let's be honest about it.
Look, when it gets into June, if we're operating the way we should be, these signings should be made by the end of the season.
Exactly.
Yeah, you would hope one of them may be announced, because that happens a bit more than it used to. But I would like to see Liverpool, work early, because the only thing I'd worry about if they don't work early is that have they shied away from something and now they're going down another route which is going to take them another 6 weeks to negotiate, and that's where you start to worry. We're going to leave it there.
Well, I hope if they do shy away from a big one that they have a big cat lined up as well. I hope I'm not late.
Don't worry.
We'll have to wait. The
briefs are all in the can of a ghost tits up. There's no fucking sure of.
Yeah.
If you're giving out saying they were worried about the amount of strapping Bellingham has on his knee every fucking week.
In fairness, he looked like Forrest Gump in that Blade in Champions League game a few weeks ago when he had the metal brace all up his body and he starts running. He's serious amount of strapping on that knee Jude Bellingham had.
Yeah,
avoid him at all costs. Bella Kotchup for midfield.
Just playing dicker holding midfielder. Right, we're going to leave it there. As I said, We did take a little break. We threw the odd show over the last 10, 12 days, but we're back now. We needed a break, and we're back. So this show was tonight, brilliant. Tomorrow, me and Bertie are going to have another chat for an hour. So I honest to God, last week's one was so good. We had a great laugh.
Can we, before we move on,
Yeah.
white pudding Easter eggs?
No. It wasn't a white pudding Easter egg. Don't fucking get it twisted.
It's just a white pudding, is it?
Yeah, it was just a case of do away with Easter eggs for 1 year. What do everyone have to go down and buy at Easter?
Yeah,
so instead of me presenting,
the issue is, are you packaging them just like a white pudding? Because you were saying they'd fall down.
Yeah.
You're not putting them in a box or anything for Easter.
No, what I'm saying is, if I go down to your house on Easter, instead of giving you an Easter egg, I'm just going to give you a white pudding. And it was the only reason I said white pudding was how do you stack it on pallets? Because that's the way the Easter eggs come into shops now. They come in on pallets, right? Plus, I had two things. One, they have to come in on pallets of them, and then when people start, reefing them out, they go all over the place. It'll be mayhem, right? Plus, you need to have orange/red weather warning about 4 to 5 days before Easter, because everyone will pile into the shops. There'll be white pudding everywhere. It'd be fucking deadly. But that's what we were talking about. We were talking about Dermot Bannon having way too much to say about houses.
Kansas, that's all it is.
What?
Yeah.
Gav's at the point that out of stock in Kansas.
Don't. Kansas white pudding is amazing. But no, we are talking about why RTE have just shows about houses now, which was amazing. And we had a lovely time. So we're going to do that tomorrow, just before the end of the break. So if you get a chance to watch that tomorrow, bring a beer, come in and talk about whatever you want, and me and Bertie will talk for an hour. I'm trying to get Emmet to nail himself down for doing a quiz this week.
Thursday, I reckon.
Thursday, I
reckon, yeah.
Okay, Thursday's good for us. So we'll have me and Bertie tomorrow. We're going to. I have something lined up there. I'll have to ask lads afterwards for Wednesday. If I can get Emma in for Thursday, I will. The lads will be back on Friday with the Premier League forecast. On Friday, Liverpool play Saturday. Then don't be early, so we'll have full time red Saturday afternoon. We'll have the Fatback 4 back on Sunday night then as well. So it's all back, it's all working, it's all happening. I'll have less time to play golf now, which I'm not too happy about, but that's how things go. Emma, anything else before we go?
No, all good. Good to be back.
No worries. Keith, is your car alarm going off?
Somebody's car alarm is going off. It's not mine. But yeah, somebody. It's like fucking Beirut around here, so alarms become immune to them. Do you know what I mean? Once it sounds far away, it's okay. It's not too close. I'm all right.
Are you able to read how far they are away now? Because through experience, like.
Yeah. That's a bit away. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
okay. A bit of time. We'll get the end of the show over before it gets closer.
Anything else other than the car alarms? Are you good?
No, all good. Great show. Great to be back. Enjoyed the chat. Just a thing before we do go, and Conte getting a lot of stuff that Conte got the bullet from Spurs, but Vizar saying there, sound like a played DJ. Wizard saying there, Conte's illness must be bad to leave Spurs, must have got doctor's orders, and I forgot all about that. He does have some bad sickness, doesn't he? That he went and got operated on for gallstones or gallbladder or something. But the rumours are that it's something a bit more serious than that. So maybe the fella, maybe he does have other stuff going on, and football isn't the most important thing. So yeah, I suppose maybe think about that.
Maybe true.
No, I thought of it.
I know, yeah. Shawnee, anything else before we go?
No, all good. Oh, good. Can't wait for none of what we talked about to happen in the summer.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Tail between our legs back to Emmet. Yeah. So, Emmet, tell me more about Bellingham.
Do you remember that March when we were saying that Bellingham fella was lethal?
Yeah. They were big 5 spot out of Southampton. Grab loads of them when they get the bullet.
Anyway, listen, as I said, we've a good few shows coming up this week. We're back on our normal schedule now, hopefully, and we bring you as many as we can every day. It's nearly 7 days a week at this stage, but we ease ourselves back in now with 4 or 5 this week. If you like golf and you like watching people play to an average level, check out Bang Average Golf. Me and Neely having a lovely time doing it, and we got absolutely upstaged by 2 young fellas the other day who were just hitting balls off the tee like it was ridiculous. But Bang Average Golf, go and check it out. Like, subscribe, comment, give us feedback, give us stuff that you want to see us do. formats, mad stuff, whatever it might be, ask questions, because we're all about the feedback and stuff like that. Shawnee loves it, Keith loves it, Emmet loves it, loads of people watching it really, really like it. So we're at the order more equipment. We're having guests on now from next month. It's going to be lethal. So there you go. Right, that is it. Talk to you in a bit. Over now.